Hey everyone, welcome back. Austin here with Baranof Fishing Excursions in the Alaska Fish House. Today we're going to talk a little bit about pinto abalone. This is something extremely special. It's unique to the southeast. As far as harvesting this, this is only for Alaskan residents in order to conserve the abalone that has been over-harvested in the past but is coming back. So this is extremely special to us. This is something that when we went out, we saw them all over the rocks, but brought back two to talk about today. So I'm going to show you how to clean it, how we prepare it. Going to be to take a brush and scrub some of this black stuff off of the side. And I use a vegetable brush, and I'll do a little bit while it's in the shell, and then I remove it from the shell to get any more that's on there. I also like to rinse it in a little bit of salt water throughout the process. Since it is from the ocean, I like to continue to use salt water. Removing it from the shell, it's easier at the shorter angle. This angle here is slightly more difficult. So we simply start at the top. We're going to remove it from the shell. There's going to be a little bit of insides to it, as well as a green liver, which is a delicacy. So I'm going to stay as close as I can to the shell and remove the abalone. Okay. We did a really good job of removing it, got close to the shell. So what we're going to do is just remove the liver and the insides. And that leaves us with the foot of the abalone. And I typically will just cut that off with a knife, try not to waste any of the meat itself. All right, so next step after we've cleaned that little end piece off is we're gonna slice it almost sashimi style. At this point, you can eat it raw if you like. In this case, we are going to lightly cook this with a little bit of butter in the pan. So I'm going to just come at an angle and do some thin slices. We like to tenderize it just a little bit. So by doing that, we'll place one of these in between two sheets of parchment or deli paper. And you can use a meat mallet if you like, or this is actually for espresso machine. And it works really well. And it is flat, so it won't puncture the meat too much. It's just going to help us spread it out. So I pounded it out, and I've tried to make it even, and I kept it very level so you don't put any holes in it or tear the flesh. So this one's ready to go, and I'm going to do that to the rest of these. We're just going to season this with a little bit of salt and pepper. It's really thin. You can season both sides if you like. We're just going to season one side. I'm going to start off with a little bit of olive oil. You want the pan hot enough so the oil starts to shimmer and a light smoke comes off of it, and that's going to also help it from not sticking. I'm also going to add a little bit of butter, and we'll add more throughout the process. These cook extremely quickly. We'll let the butter and olive oil come together, and we actually want it to brown just a little bit. It's called beurre noisette, and that's brown butter. That's going to add some nuttiness and another element of taste to the abalone. So again, this cooks very quick. You can see the butter starting to slightly brown, and we can always add a little bit more and let that foam up. We'll flip our abalone, and these are ready to serve. Directly out of the pan to the plate. We want to be able to taste this in its simplicity. It's such a special ingredient that I don't want to bread it, flour it, deep fry it, anything like that. I'm just going to plate it, a little bit of that brown butter, natural juices, some fresh parsley is nice, a little bit of lemon, always excellent choice of seafood. Very simple pinto abalone. All right, so let's have a taste. It's really hard to describe just how good it tastes. Obviously, It tastes like the ocean, similar to clams, but it has this firm, incredible texture that browns up, gets crispy on the ends. We're really lucky to taste this today, and out of all the vast species that you can find in the intertidal zone, this is one of them that you could potentially see here in Southeast Alaska. And as residents, we're fortunate enough to be able to gather these. To see more videos on cooking multiple species from Southeast Alaska, check us out at exclusivealaska.com.